Welcome to another episode of the A-List Music Club. I am your host, the Game Changer, Wes Truth. And as always, I'm being joined by Dominic and John. How's it going tonight, guys?
Good.
And as always, this is the show where one of us picks a different CD, album, playlist, whatever, and the rest of us listen to it and we talk about it. So this time it was Dominic's turn. So tell us a little bit about what you picked.
I broke the Beatles cherry, and I chose the album Rubber Soul by them.
As you see, I got the shirt on. I dressed for the occasion.
Oh yeah, you could sum it up in one word: brilliant. I mean, when I was younger, I didn't care too much for the Beatles. As I've grown older, I have gained a ton of appreciation for them. Revolutionary band. Three incredibly talented musicians and one decent musician, and that would be Ringo. I mean, I like Ringo, but he's never was considered a great drummer. But yeah, it's got my favorite Beatles song of all time on there, In My Life, and Nowhere Man, Michelle. I mean, the album is almost like a greatest hits album, I mean, which a lot of their albums are like that. I love it. I'm glad I got a chance to listen to it again. God, there's not too much more you can say about it. I mean, it's Beatles, man. It's it's there's not too many clunkers with them. So, all righty, John, what did you think?
Yeah, I'm a Beatles fan too. Although I've never listened to complete albums, I've always been more like a greatest hits.
Right.
That's all I have by them.
Right.
So this is my first time hearing an entire album, and wow, holy shit! It's a masterpiece. You're right, Tom. This is amazing.
It is.
Every song is, I mean, was a hit or could have been a hit or should have been a hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nothing you would skip over.
It's one of my favorite Beatles albums.
It's great.
I think it's very.
Any album that has a song about killing a girl if she cheats on you is a good album by me. Every stalker needs a theme, and
yeah.
Really, that's great. I mean, yeah. My least favorite, and this isn't saying it's terrible. If I had to pick one to skip, it would probably be Think for Yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Wait. They're kind of the weakest, but not terrible.
Yeah.
It's just when you have a bunch of songs that are all tens, they sort of compared to those aren't left to it, Oh yeah, great. What more can you say? It's the Beatles, man.
So yeah, I've always been a fan of the Beatles since I was a kid. Saw a tribute concert when I was pretty young. One where one band did the early stuff and one band did the later stuff. I thought that was awesome. Much like you, John, I didn't listen to this album all the way through. So I did like hearing some of these songs for the first time. Of course I knew a lot of the classics: Drive My Car, Norwegian Wood, This Bird Has Flown. That's great. You Won't See Me, I wasn't sure if I knew, but I liked it. Nowhere Man is a very well-known song off of this album. Definitely love that one. Michelle, always loved that song. I knew a girl named Michelle that I never.
Oh, shut
up. Yeah, In My Life is a masterpiece. Definitely one of their best. Run for Your Life cracks me up. Definitely a different song for the Beatles. I was like, Huh? I almost thought I was listening to Guns N' Roses for a minute.
That's a great song.
Yeah. And then, my first time hearing Think for Yourself, The Word, What Goes On, If I Needed Someone. Yeah, I mean, I like in Girl, I like the the hiss or whatever it is that they're doing. I'm like, whatever sound that is, it cracks me up. Yeah, it's definitely a great album for sure. Like you all have said, it's the Beatles.
Yeah. It's sort of a Dom, you probably would know better than me, but you can kind of hear the transition from the I want to hold your hand poppy stuff
Right.
to the Revolver, Sergeant Pepper,
Right.
more mature.
That was her.
Right.
Yeah, mature is a great word for it. And I've got a little piece of trivia about this, about the song In My Life. Now, Paul McCartney and John Lennon both claimed that they wrote the lyrics to it.
Oh wow.
And John Lennon said he wrote the lyrics, and Paul McCartney said he wrote the lyrics. So there's nobody, they're not really sure who did, but they're thinking it was Paul that wrote the lyrics. And in that song, the harpsichord in there or whatever that is, that was played on a regular piano and just sped up. So that's an actual piano playing.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Yeah. You can also kind of hear the Paul McCartney and Lennon sort of going their separate ways.
Yeah.
Musically, like Paul's still writing the pop tunes.
Right.
He's still writing Michelle, which is fine. And John's doing Norwegian Wood and Run for Your Life.
Right.
You can see that they're going different directions.
Mm-hmm.
This Bird Has Flown is kind of a dark song if you pay attention to the words.
Yep.
I mean, he burns down her house.
Jeez, he must have been in a dark place when he wrote this album.
I did a little looking up, and it said that he had an affair, like a one-night thing on his wife, his first wife, and that's what this song is kind of about, but not so obvious.
Right.
It turned into I hooked up with a girl when I woke up in the morning. She had robbed me and took my shit, so I burned down her house.
Well, you know what? When they say this bird has flown, bird was a slang in the 60s in Britain for a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he woke up and I was alone. This bird has flown.
Yeah.
So I lit a fire.
All right, let's start rating. I'll go first. I rated a 10. There's no doubt about it.
10. Definitely a 10.
And I agree. 10s all around.
Yeah. Now whose turn?
I think that's the only second time that that's happened on the music show.
It could be.
I think so. I think it's Wes's turn to pick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
So
Halloween 3.
Yeah. Just one note for 60 minutes. Or that damn song, that jingle repeated for 60 minutes.
2 more days till Halloween.
Yeah. I wanted to throw a brick through the TV. But yeah, so this is a band that I've always had on my mixtapes as a kid, which is funny because when you hear what band it is, I've always had them in my mixes throughout my life, and I thought, let's listen to one of their CDs. So it's from the 90s, obviously, and that is Rancid, and the album is And Out Come the Wolves.
What the fuck?
Yes.
John's happy about it.
Oh man, I love that album.
Yeah. You've never heard, tell me you don't know Rancid, Dominic.
I've heard the name.
You haven't heard of them?
The CD has 15 songs on it, and I bet the whole CD is 20 minutes long.
Okay.
It's like the Ramones.
Yeah.
They fast. They
Yeah,
boom.
it'll be a quick listen for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's great.
All right. All right. So,
I'm glad I made John happy at least.
Yes. Did you say the
All right.
rest of God, please be outcome the wolves?
So, all right. Well,
I'm skating out of here.
we'll be back next week with our thoughts on Rancid. But until then, John, you want to talk a little bit about your podcast?
Sure. We Like Wrestling podcast. 4 guys sitting around talking about wrestling, past, present, classic pay-per-views reviews. We have tournament, a special episode coming up this week. Tune in to find out what it is. And we're available on every you find podcast, Apple iTunes, Spotify. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We Like Wrestling podcast.
All right. Awesome. And of course, for me, you can subscribe right here on YouTube, youtube.com/westside of515. Like the show on Facebook, facebook.com/WestTruePaylist. And of course, you can follow me on the Twitter and the Instagram @WestAlist. Until next time, Troop out.